friends who have heard me say on the air, and they're a little concerned that Kentucky, are they slipping as far as being a blue blood? I'm just saying that. I'm not predicting it. I don't want it to happen. But at a certain point, you have to wonder. You really do. It's not like Kentucky's done such a great job when it comes to the NCAA tournament. Okay, they got to the Sweet 16 last year. Nice, nice. And I will always say, had Butler been healthy and Robinson been healthy, they might have gone farther. They might have. Absolutely might have. But, look at Cal's last year's. He was horrendous. Horrendous. Kentucky has not been dominating the SEC in a long time. Kentucky's not winning the SEC tournament. Kentucky's not winning the SEC regular season. And if it continues, you have to be concerned. You do. Could it change? Yeah. Yeah. One of the good things about this year is that there's no team in the SEC that you can say, hey, this is a team that I think can win the national championship. It could happen, but I don't see that, and I don't think it's rolling off anybody's tongue. Everybody knows you can get hot at the end. Okay, that's fine. It could happen. It could absolutely happen. This was a tweet from Brandon Ramsey. KSR's Brandon Ramsey does a wonderful job chopping down tape, former coach who's made a lovely living as an expert on young people, helping in recruiting, and also chopping down tape. So Brandon, who loves Kentucky, put this up. Body language screams, and especially screams, he used caps, on film with hindsight of an 80-55 loss. Does anything about what Kentucky is doing here, and he picked a clip, make what you think they're about to get a good shot? Look at Otega Owe walking it up. Look at the one-handed pass. Then he caps, play with some pace. And I've mentioned this many, many, many times. I don't understand why Kentucky can't push the ball up more, especially that was one of the mantras of Pope when he got here. You can sprint with the ball coming across the court. You can go faster. They do not. They do not. And I think it hampers them getting into their offense. And I think one of the reasons that this team really doesn't have a point guard, and therefore they're not getting easy threes. They're not. They're not. And it's bad. But I'm concerned. I really am. Now, if they win 5 in a row, does this disappear? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm open-minded to look at the positive and open-minded to look at the negative. And I guess some of you don't want to hear that, and I'm okay with that. Let's take a little look at the Hogs. Akoff is spectacular. He's a lottery pick. Everybody knows that. 20 points and 6 assists a game. Shoots 50% from the field. I rounded up, 49.7. 41 on threes and 78.5 from the free throw line. Now, the other day I said he had 21 points, 10 assists, no turnovers. Now I'm seeing it was 21. Excuse me. I said it was 21 points, 9 assists, no turnovers, which is spectacular. Then I've seen it someplace else where he had 21 points, 10 assists, no turnovers. He's really, really good. Their backcourt is spectacular. They had a wonderful comeback against Oklahoma. And here's what's interesting. D.J. Wagner is an afterthought. I've always felt bad for the kid. I don't know why, but I do. With all the hype, I mean, he averages 7.5 points a game. I really thought Cal would be forced to start him and playing a ton of minutes because of relationships. And I was wrong. He's shooting 40% from the field. He's not even averaging 25 minutes a game. And he's having his best year shooting threes at 35%. If he plays pro ball, unless it's someplace in like New Zealand or something like that, I will be shocked. I will be shocked. And Kevin Knox's brother, when he went to Arkansas, remember the talk is, I'm going to be a one and done and stuff like that. 9-5, that's all. 9 points and 5 rebounds, but he's shooting 39%. So Cal has somehow taken some big-time recruits, and they have slipped back. And it looks like, from what I've seen of him, that he's playing the right people. Now, is there a fan that follows Kentucky that believes Cal always played the right people when he was coaching Kentucky? No. Talk to Ulyss and Booker. No. Talk to SGA how long it took him to get in the starting lineup. No. No. Jimmy, did you see the recent not top 10 on ESPN? And I'm a little surprised it wasn't higher. Jimmy, have you ever seen this? And I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I have or haven't. And if I have, it's been a long time. So Malachi kind of just tosses the ball into Owe, so the ball's in bounds. Absolutely the worst play of the year. And then Owe steps out of bounds, and he tosses into Malachi. Jimmy, have you ever seen that?
No, I'm even trying to think back to like in high school watching our, the high school team play. I can't remember seeing that at any level, let alone SEC basketball.
I had it in my notes yesterday when I was looking at stuff a couple minutes ago and going, why didn't I mention this yesterday? And then when it made number 5 in the top 10 of the week of ESPN, that's incredible. I mean, that tells me the obvious. Do I think always stupid? I do not. We all make stupid mistakes. Did he make a stupid mistake? Absolutely. I've made stupid mistakes, Jimmy. I'm not going to talk for you, but I'm sure you've made stupid mistakes. We all made stupid mistakes. But that also tells me how these kids weren't mentally into the game. They weren't. They weren't. Not at all. Not at all. Look, here's the deal on Pope. It's pretty simple. Those of you out there who want to fire him, you're entitled to your opinion. That's great. I don't. If this thing ends up that Kentucky makes the NCAA tournament and they flame out early, I can see people getting really upset. I respect your opinion, and that's fine. Let's say Kentucky is mediocre between now and the rest of the season, that it doesn't crash. Let's play a little hypothetical game. Doesn't crash. They're mediocre. They make the tournament. They don't make it to the Sweet 16. All things that are possible. Very possible. To me, Pope's future is on his recruiting next year. It's on his recruiting next year. It's a pretty simple deal. And if he has a bad year recruiting, I think he's in trouble. Am I going to predict that? No. Do I wish that? No. But I also can tell you this. Just suppose, and I've said this before, and he's got to prove, and he hasn't been able to get a great freshman not from the state of Kentucky. And I stand by this. If Jasper Johnson and Malachi Marino were from the state of Washington, the state of California, the state of Nevada, the state of Florida, do I think they'd be here? Hell no. So he still has to prove it. All right, Jimmy, you want to play a little game with me?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to mention a player's name, and it's either yay or nay in your opinion, and this could change. I'm not holding you to it. I'm not holding me to it. Things can change. You can play better. You can get more upset or that kind of thing. Obviously, Owe not coming back. Duh. Aberdeen not coming back. Jasper Johnson, you think he's coming back?
No. I don't think he's happy with his lack of playing time.
Oh!
I would love for him to come back, but I don't know. That's just my first initial, like right off the top. He doesn't seem happy, and I think he'll go find as much as he wants to be here. Unless things change, I think he'll go find minutes somewhere else.
I applaud you, dude. You are shocking me with your no filter ability right now. And you have to, Jimmy doesn't do anything for clips. If you have, we've been around now in the 4th year. I've never heard you ever say anything, whether it's on your show with Matthew. When it comes to Kentucky sports, actually, that's not true. I did hear one thing in the first few months we talked about it. I'm sorry for bringing it up, but think about it. You don't do it though,
no.
Right? Okay. Gosh darn it! I shouldn't have asked you first. My answer is no too. That's so I'm giving you not because you're agreeing with me, because we talked about this, and I've got the roster in front of me. Had it in front of me yesterday and didn't do it because there were other things that were going on. I was more concerned about things that weren't going on, but we're not going to go into that. I don't think he's happy at all. Now, here's the caveat, and I'm not doing it out, and I know you're going to agree with it. If all of a sudden he's playing 25 minutes a game and he's happy in the offense and those kinds of things, could it change? Yes. Do I think it's a done deal? I do not. And I mentioned, and I'm sure you remember this, it was a couple of games ago where he talked about how it was really tough. And I read his face. It's the most sullen is not the right word. The kid smiles a lot. And it was okay, less smiley face. That's terrible. Angry, not really. Ticked off. To me, I've never seen him look like that. And I thought he was smart when he didn't want to go too far, because these kids are generally smart by that. And I'm not ripping them for not being no filter, because there are times they can't tell you the truth. They can't. And I'm not going to rip them for it. I'm just not going to do it. But and remember, I talked about this, how unhappy he looked. And he's upset. He's upset with his playing time. And then he said something else that I made a big deal with for a couple minutes. The fact that he said he's finally being allowed to play through some of his mistakes. So I know you read it the same way I did, which is, okay, everybody's got a different yanking ability. Always not going to get yanked as quickly as Jasper. Duh. That's any basketball program in the world. We all know that, but it's the perception in your head. And I think the way the season is working out, that Jasper, it's not working out the way it is. And, Jasper has had some really good first halves. The other day, when he does an 8-0 run by himself, and then look how little he plays in the second half. I think he's ticked off. So if it were today, I would say no, too. Interesting. Well, we started this way, so you're going to have to go first. I'd like to change it now, but it's my game. I have the rules. It's basically my show that you produce and throw in your 2 cents. And I don't like my rule right now, Jimmy. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm not going to change. Cam Williams, think he's coming back? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yelovich, think he's coming back? Yes or no?
That one I would say yes. That one's a little hard for me to try to get a gauge. Just he hasn't really had that much of an impact, but I don't know where else he could go. I could see him coming back.
I think there'll be a conversation after the end of the year where his handlers, whether it's halfway around the world or whatever, will talk to Pope about playing time. And I believe if he's getting the minutes he's getting now, I think the odds of him coming back are not as good as people think. People move all the time. There's no question he might not make as much money, but there's no question there's a lot of schools where he can play, 30-something minutes a game. So with that, I need to write this down. I'm putting a question mark with PT. And that might depend upon who Post recruits. Or will they make him a promise? I always loved it when Cal used to say, I never promised playing time. I laughed then and I laugh now. So I'm putting a question with that. Colin Chandler, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
You don't think so?
Nope. You have a curious look. You want to ask me a question?
Where do you think he would go? Would it be a lateral transfer? I mean, you can't really go up, I guess, from a Kentucky per se, but I guess the way this season's gone, you could. Where do you think it's more of a lateral move?
I have 3 letters for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My guess is BYU. That's my guess. It's a little bit more than a guess. Could it change? Yes. Do I think it's going to change? I do not. Think about it. He's married, right?
Yeah.
He even said, was it before the season? I don't remember, but it was quite a while ago, that starting a family is very important to him, right? Remember that soundbite? And I talked about that a great deal. Okay. And so you think he'd like to be around family?
Probably.
Okay. I don't know this, but I'm going to guess he doesn't hang out with the guys a ton because he goes home to his wife. That's a guess. I don't know. I'm not saying he's shutting out the guys on the team, but when you're married and you're already said starting a family is important to me, do you think he and his wife would probably like to be around family?
Yeah.
You ready for this? I'm going to shock you with this one. And I know you're going to be honest. I don't think he's moving for money. Okay? I don't. Okay? Do I think he'll get more money at BYU? Yes. Are you surprised to hear me say that?
No, I agree that I don't think he would move for the money.
No.
Because he would get money whether he's here or there or wherever he goes. But I don't think that's going to be the deciding factor, where it is for a lot of guys.
And I believe he's got a very good relationship with Pope, by the way. And I believe he's really won over his teammates. And I believe that was a little more difficult than some other guys because he's a different kid versus some kids on the team. And I credit the team for accepting him, and I credit him. But I can absolutely unequivocally see, my guess is he's not coming back. Now, with that logic, are you changing your tune?
Yeah, I didn't even think about him going back to BYU. Well, it wouldn't be going back, but in a way, it's kind of going back to BYU. That's where he was committed. But yeah, I could see him going back. If there's any place, I think that's where you'd go.
If you're about to start a family, I don't know the Mormon population here, and there's not a blessed word that I'm saying that's negative. But I did, TV and radio in the Northwest. And when I did TV in Idaho, there were actually, and I found this interesting, Jimmy, there were more Mormons at the time per capita in Idaho than there were in Utah. Really surprised me. And they stay together. I mean, let's put it this way. Do you think all of a sudden 3 Amish people are going to move to Lexington by themselves or they're still part of the Amish? It's just not what they do. Right? And so that's that. I'm really curious what you say here. It seems obvious. Trent Noah.
I would actually say no.
Okay, I'm going to write you down for no. I'm about to give a wishy-washy answer. You're really ticking me off. You're being more no-filter than me. Sean, fire him. I'll tell you what I wrote down before you said anything. I'm doing this on purpose. And I don't lie or make anything up. I said probably. Because I think he's got to decide whether he wants to play or not.
Yeah.
And I could really see him leaving. So this is what I'm doing. You say no?
Yeah.
I'm saying probably not.
Okay. See, and I feel like just the way that college basketball is, I would probably initially say probably and like maybe a yes, but the way that recruiting and everything is in the portal, if you're on a probably on a guy, nowadays it's going to turn into a no just because the roster turnover is so high everywhere.
If he wants to wear Kentucky across his chest and is not concerned about playing time and is concerned about money, he should stay.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? I don't know what EKU has coming back, but I'm saying EKU, sorry, I'm not being disrespectful to the other schools, but the style that they play, he's perfect for it. He comes in and gets 30 minutes a game. I don't give a blank who they have. I don't know what they have coming back. And guess what? They'd love him in EKU. He's a great kid. Great kid. Might not be captain the first year, might be captain the first year. So I'm saying probably not. You're saying no. We have to speed this up because it's 12:27. Gosh, you're going to go first, but I've already written down Brandon Garrison.
No. I feel pretty confident in that one.
Yeah, me too. Low.
Yes.
I'm leaning towards yes, too. JQ.
No.
I'm going a little stronger. You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely not. Okay?
Yeah.
Brandon Hawthorne.
Ooh. I'm going to say yes.
I'm saying yes. Unless he thinks he's not going to play a lot.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a caveat. The caveat is with PT. But I can definitely see him coming back. He went to camp here. He's like Sean Woods to me is a Kentucky boy, even though he's from Indiana. And Sean always has said he's a Kentucky boy. He is. Okay. Brandon Hawthorne is not from Indiana, but he went to the camps here and stuff like that. And this was his dream. So Brandon Hawthorne is like a Kentucky boy. Yeah. And I respect, how much, I think the world of Sean and the Hawthorne kid is a great kid. And those stories about coming to the camp, it's a beautiful thing. Mohamed Diobate.
No.
We agree 100%. If Patino wants him, could I see him going to St. John's?
Chance.
Yeah, but he doesn't shoot. But then again, Patino has too many shooters. Malachi Marino.
Yes.
I'm going to put a probably. And here's the only reason why probably. If he's great from now the rest of the year and he ends up being, they think, number 16 or 18, is it possible he could go? Yes. I'm going to slide on probably yes is how I'm putting it. Reese Potter, yes.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to ask Reese Potter if he has any second doubts, because guess what? Miami's undefeated. Isn't that amazing?
Looking pretty good this year.
Yeah, they really are. Lee's in the waiting room. Okay, time to take a break. Now, Jimmy, I'll get blamed. Some people say, Cutler, you're starting some crap. No, this is feelings. And you know what? A lot of you might not agree with whether what Jimmy said or I said. Guess what? You're thinking about it too. You're thinking about it too. I got to tell you what, if you're thinking about a car, you better hurry, you better hurry, you better hurry. Quattro Subaru. From the depths of Mammoth Cave to the rugged cliffs of Red River Gorge, to muddy boots and long days in the Daniel Boone National Forest and every back road that gets you there. Your adventures are built for Subaru, with legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive, proven safety, and the durability Quattro Subaru is known for. You can push farther, stay longer, and explore without hesitation. Right now, get 0 APR financing on the new 2025 Subaru Outback models through February 2nd. Better hurry. Built for Kentucky. Ready for anywhere. Quattro Subaru. Visit quattrosubaru.com. See dealer for details. Don't forget about their Cadillacs. We love driving that Cadillac. Love driving it. Love, love, love. We have switched. It's the third car we've gotten from Quattro. We now have the VC60, the Volvo. Best car Judy and I have had in only 43 years. Would you say that's a pretty good time period, Jimmy? It's a pretty good time period. And it's a hybrid, and we're saving money. And it's just, it's a great car. It just is a great car. And I trust the people who own and run and the people who work there that you have to deal with. They're really nice people, and they really go out of the way to help you out. And to me, that's a huge thing. Check out Quattro. They've been around forever. They take care of you, and they're looking for what everybody looks, repeat customers. And they had me a repeat customer having nothing to do with this radio show. Nothing. It's the truth. Lee K. Howard coming up next. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment. Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties.
Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hi, this is Patrick DiGiacomo, and this is why I would recommend Republic Bank. So, when the bank manager brought me over just to show me how their ITM works, he hit this button where an actual live person came on the screen, and she was so kind and helpful, and it just made me feel like, wow, I'm not dealing with just a machine, I'm dealing with somebody that's actually paying attention to what I'm doing, and it made me feel really good.
And that's how Republic Bank helps their customers go from living to thriving. Learn more at republicbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler for the Quantrell Auto Group, a people organization who have Cadillacs, Volvos, Subarus. Experience the all-electric and plug-in hybrid power vehicles. We have the VC60, the Volvo. We love it. Best car we've ever had. Dedicated customer service. Helped us big time with financing. A wonderful dealership, the Quantrell Auto Group. They've been terrific for us for well over a decade. I trust the Quantrell Auto Group.
Ooh, baby, it's cold outside.
Uncle Rick, warm yourself up with a hot coffee or cappuccino at Clark's Pub and Shop.
What?
Cappuccino. And while you're there, be sure to pick up some of our in-store specials. We have assorted Hershey, Reese's, Kit Kat, and Payday king-size candy bars. Buy one, get one for $1.
I feel warmer already. Clark's Pub and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a background. Nice job, Lee K, Sports Director, Channel 27. If you're watching on YouTube, you have a feeling you're inside Rupp Arena. Lee K, how the heck are you, dude?
I'm good. It was either the virtual Rupp Arena background or my basement with my children's toys behind me. So I went with Rupp Arena.
I'd be fine with that. John Hale once did the show in a closet. He was being considerate. I mean, that's all he had to do was laugh. And thank you, John, for doing it because his dogs were barking. So he literally went in the closet, and I felt terrible.
Got to do what you got to do, right?
Hey, Jeff Drummond the other day pulled a con job. He hasn't been. I hope he's out today, but he and his wife had not been out of the house at all. So he's going stir crazy. So he put a beach background. So then I'm saying, where are you? Then I was watching the wave broke exactly the second time. And I grew up on the beach, so I know something about waves. Okay. And it took me the second time to go, wait a second. He goes, hey, Cutler, I had to do this because I'm going stir crazy at home. So it's all good. How are your kids and family handling this ridiculous weather?
I think just about like how everybody else is. The kids have been at home all week with snow days or NTI days, and we're ready. We're ready to get out of the house. We've been out of the house a few times, but we're ready to get back into a routine. So I'm not a huge snow lover. One good snow a year is enough, and then I kind of want it out of the way. And so I think I'm at that point right now. It's time to clear up the roads and the streets and get the kids back to school. But yeah, other than that, we're doing great.
You want to play a little game?
Sure.
Okay, we just played the game. I just played it with Jimmy. And so I'm going to say a person's name, player's name. You tell me if you think they're coming back.
Okay.
Okay, ready. Just going straight down the list with numbers-wise. There's no rhyme or reason. Jasper, coming back or no?
That's a tough one, maybe. I still think his slogan has always been Kentucky till I die. It literally says that on the side of his pickup. I feel like that's where he wants to be. But by the end of the year, I think he'll have to make a tough decision. So I think that's an iffy one.
I'm being a little wishy-washy here. That's what I get for putting a lot of turmeric in the tea I made because I'm fasting. I say no, unless I'm giving myself a little out that all of a sudden it gets much better. I know, I don't know if you ran it on TV, but I know you saw the soundbite a couple games ago where they talked to him and he had a frown on his face, and the kid never frowns, talking about how difficult it was not playing, which a lot of kids have gone through. And you know, there's so many kids have thought about leaving and never left. Even in the good old days, it's kind of crazy. Now it's easier to leave, but he ain't happy. I mean, I can see it and feel it, and he thinks he should be playing somewhere 30 minutes a game. And there are plenty of schools, as we both know, they'll do him that. So I'm putting down a no unless it gets much better for him. So
yeah, I would say that you very well could be right. And I think that he's enjoying himself, but also he expects that he thought he came into this season with more playing minutes and that sort of thing. So I do think he will have a decision at the end of the year. And so that one could absolutely go either way.
Yeah, and plus with Lowe being out, I think that amplified his feeling that he'll be playing more. And the other thing, too, is, he's not playing a lot in the second halves.
Mm-hmm.
And they could play Aberdeen and him together if Pope wanted to. Okay, so Cam Williams, yes or no?
Yes. I think Cam is back. I think this injury setback probably has a little bit to do with it, but I think that Cam, coming from Tulane, coming from, he wasn't the high recruit guy that came in thinking that he should expect to get all these minutes. I think in some ways he was happy to be here. And I also think he feels like he has a lot to prove still. And coming off of a foot injury in rehab, I think he will definitely be back next year.
And I hope and pray they don't rush the kid. Foots are foots. You break that thing a second time and you're in trouble.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I think Mark Pope has learned a lot about roster construction this year. But Cam is one of the guys that kind of fits that profile of a player that Pope needs on his team for his offense. So I think just even from a talent perspective, Cam fits a lot of the needs that Pope is going to need on the roster as far as his shooting goes.
I could see him getting a big raise for staying here. I quickly said yes. Andre Yelovich.
I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go no. I think kind of like what you said with Jasper, I think there are other teams that would be willing to bring him in. Maybe he goes back. That's just my best guess right now. I would say probably no.
Okay, I didn't say no. I said it this way with a question mark. There'll be a conversation from his handlers, wherever they are, halfway across the world, with Pope. And if they're not convinced that he doesn't get a lot more playing time, he's gone. Because, there's a lot of schools in America, if he wants to stay in America, that would guarantee him 28, 30 minutes a game. And he did have some trouble adjusting. But you know what? There's a lot of schools that would have allowed him to adjust on the court. Pope decided to go with other players. That's what, that's Pope's decision. But I think if there's no guarantee of playing time, for sure, I think he's gone. Trent Noah.
I think yes, but I'm going to hesitate just a little bit. I think so because Trent, obviously a Kentucky kid, grew up here and has always wanted to play here. Now, I would have told you the same thing about Travis Perry last year if you asked me at this point of the season. Unless something comes along where Trent just really feels like he can go somewhere else and gain a lot more minutes and flourish, and someone's willing to pay him, and let's not discount that Chris Beard at Ole Miss was willing to pay Travis Perry more than what Pope was going to pay him to come back. That's kind of where we are in college basketball. If Trent finds himself in that similar situation, then maybe so. I still think that Trent is got some growing to do, and there's a place for him in this offense or on this roster going forward. So I'm going to say yes, but not with a ton of confidence.
Okay, I'm saying probably not. And so there's two schools of thought here. There are some kids that just want to have a Kentucky across their chest. God bless, more power to them. I'm all for that if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm saying probably not after 2 years, unless he wants the money, which is nothing wrong with that, and you're putting it away and you're setting yourself up for 4 years, because if he transfers down, he'll still make money, but it's not the same. Here's my thought. 2 years. He saw Travis leaving. He's perfect for a school like EKU. Perfect. Gets 30 minutes a game. Family can go see him play. He'll probably make maybe a tenth or 20% of the money, but he gets to play for 2 years. And at a certain point in time, I don't see how he starts next year. No matter how many guys leave, they're going to recruit over him. And if he's okay being an extra guy, God bless, more power to him. I think the kid wants to play, and I think it's difficult. And I could see him transferring to someplace in the state where the style fits him and he knows he can play. The kid is amazing with loose balls and stealing and rebounds. And if he gets to the point where he can just stop and pop, I could see him being the leading, walking into EKU, being the leading scorer. And I'm not negating the other schools in the state, but I think his style fits perfectly for EKU. What say you?
Yeah, so I think you're right, but I also think this is where kind of the NIL can sometimes keep a guy at your school because of the reasons that you laid out. If Trent doesn't think in his mind that he is an eventual NBA player or even an eventual pro, that maybe he doesn't want to go overseas and play eventually, and go through that professional career. These guys now have a real opportunity to set themselves up for the future by making money in college. Now, you also have the competitive side of him that may sit there and go, I don't care how much money I'm making. I want to get on the floor and actually play basketball because that's what I enjoy doing, regardless of the money. But, in years past, let's say the NIL didn't exist and you were a Trent Noah and you weren't getting the playing minutes that you even got last season, and you saw just down the road an opportunity to be a star at EKU, to use your example, you might jump on that because all of a sudden you're on the floor, you're leading a team, you're getting the minutes that you wanted. But now with this whole NIL piece, you're probably not setting up your future monetarily the way that you probably could if you just stick around and try to find a role on this Kentucky team. But that's why I say it could go either way.
And I can understand if a kid wants to stay here 4 years, he's always going to be beloved. He's the world's greatest kid. And the other part of it is he might be able to put well in excess of an extra $250,000 in the bank and set yourself up for the future. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. And maybe get to a New Zealand, no disrespect New Zealand, but a lower level of pro ball. And could I see him playing in a place like that, even if he doesn't play here a ton? I can, by the way, which means you might or might not make $100,000. What the heck is wrong with that?
Yeah, let me say one more thing about Trent. Also, I think his situation is a little bit unique in that he's not only getting the rev share, the NIL type money that they've allocated to him, being a kid from the state and particularly the eastern part of the state, he's also getting his own endorsement deals from, I think he has a car thing. He may have something with ARH or some. There are other entities that are paying him that maybe if he goes to another school, in state, out of state, whatever, they may or may not exist after that. But that's just something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. It's a good point. But I'm also going to guess that those deals aren't the huge deals, but every deal is a good deal.
Sure.
And he should be getting a bunch of deals in that area. Who doesn't like him? Who doesn't think he's a great representation and all those kinds of things? But it's a good point. I bet this is going to be a really quick answer with you. Brandon Garrison.
No.
No.
No, I don't think so. No.
Jalen Lowe.
Okay, so that's a good one. I said yes. I think, I hope that Pope has learned one thing, if nothing else, this year, and that is you have to have more than one true point guard. Now, some of that was just bad luck. They had a Caden Lewis ready to come here as one of the top recruits in the country, and he would have been a great backup point guard. He'd be the starter right now if he had decided to come, but that didn't work out. And when Jalen came with 2 years of eligibility left, Caden left. So I still say Jalen comes back. They also bring in another point guard, and they'll have to compete for who is the starter. I don't think it's a lock that he's the starter, but I do think he'll go through his whole rehab here and give it another go here because he still has 2 years of eligibility remaining if they were able to get that medical red shirt for this year.
If it's deemed that Pope brings in a point guard who's making more money, because these kids find out more than we do. We rumors and numbers. Occasionally, there are a few numbers I really know, but the truth is, most of the numbers I don't know, and we both hear stuff. And I'm really quick to say, I don't know, but this is what I've heard. If I think it's close, but a lot of times, I really think money decides if you're playing or not more than ever before. And if they bring in a point guard who is deemed as better and they're paying more money, I don't see him staying. I don't think his father would put up with it. I think he wants to play 30 minutes a game or 28 minutes a game somewhere. I'm going to say probably yes. And Pope has to bring a point guard. They have to bring a point guard. So we'll see. I think this is going to be a quick one for you. Braden Hawthorne.
Yes, I think so. And I'm super excited about that guy. I think he's raw and has a lot of talent. And the fact that he's been able to be this patient shows that he's a guy that can keep that patience. And I think he'll be back.
Jaden Quaintance.
No. The chances that he would be back? No.
Okay, I didn't mention name.
No. I think Jaden is on the track to declare for the draft, and there's a couple reasons why. I mean, one is the injury, to be honest, and I don't know the severity of the injury, but there's been an injury obviously in the past, and sometimes those guys feel like they're on a ticking clock to get to the league and get money before a re-injury happens, and sometimes you see that happen, that clock start ticking in college and they start sitting. And I don't know his particular situation, but no, I would be very surprised if he returned to Kentucky or any college program next year. I don't think he's in college next year.
Jaden Quaintance will never play for Kentucky again.
I think that's the smart money right now. Yes.
I have a little more behind it.
And I would say he will never play a college basketball game again.
Yes. That is correct.
I don't think he's going somewhere else. I think yes.
The only way he goes somewhere else, he's got a window that you know all about. Okay, the window is not the end of the season. The window is when you work out for NBA teams. Mm-hmm. If the NBA teams look at his knee and they're going to scrutinize him like crazy, as they should. It's a huge investment. If they look at his knee and think he's 100%, he might slide down some, but he will be absolutely unequivocally a first-round draft pick. I think the decision has absolutely unequivocally already been made. It's already been made. And I think there are people inside UK who know. So I know you're doing your own snooping, as everybody does their own snooping and that kind of stuff. It's been made. And will it change? Sure. Will it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Mo Diabate.
No.
Me too. No. He would go to St. John's if Patino wants him.
Yeah. Listen, Mo's a great hustle guy. Mo provides a lot for a lot of teams. I think that Pope maybe learned he needs more offense. And, last year, the 4 for Kentucky was Andrew Carr. And Andrew Carr could step out in that corner, hit the short corner jumper. He could step out and hit a 3. I think in Pope's offense, where shooting is valued at another level, I think that a stretch 4, is more of the type of player that Pope needs rather than a Mo Diabate.
Malachi.
Yes, 100%. If you told me one player that, like, put your life on, guarantee this player is coming back, it's Malachi Marino.
Oh, no, don't do that. I like you, Glee K.
Yeah. No, I
Glee K, you got beautiful children. You got a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that. Let me give you a scenario.
Unless, just I'll say this.
What did you say? Come on, what did you say, dude? What was your exact
No. Unless he just has a fantastic rest of the year and feels like he can get picked in the NBA, he's coming back to Kentucky. He's not going somewhere else to play college basketball. That's my clarification.
I would put $1 million on that. That's a nice little hit. That was very smooth, Glee K. That was smooth. Yeah. Okay, so I need to look again. 2-3 weeks ago, I don't remember, but there was one of those lists which are often wrong. It's amazing how the NFL lists are better than the basketball list, which is interesting. I don't think they get as much from the general managers in basketball as they do from football guys. I've always believed that. You're nodding your head yes, and you buy that too. They had him number 20 in the first round, and my face was the same as yours. I went, wow. And this is before he had that what was the game? He had 8 points and 6 rebounds and 4 or 5 blocks and 5 or 6 assists, whatever. That 8-6-5, whatever it was. I'm sorry, I don't remember the numbers, but it was a game you're just going to remember. It was before that, and I went, wow. If he has a great rest of the season, do I think it's possible he goes to the NBA? Yes, because if he's going to make that much money, they can have him lift weights for a year and play in the G League for a year. And I've said this ad nauseum, and people don't get it, and I know you get it. If you're ready at the end of the first contract, playing up to your potential, you'll get all the money in the world. And this gives him 1 year closer to that if you're ready. And a team like OKC, and I'm not sure how many they have, but they've had for years many first-round draft choices. They've done some training. But if you're OKC, and let's say you gamble and take a gamble on Marino, let's say number 18. I don't know where the hell they have. And you say, we can sit on you. We can sit on you because we don't need you to be one of our first 8. And they have really good people in their G League. And could I see that scenario? Actually, quickly, I can't. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you one name, and I'm not comparing these two guys as far as talent or player comp, but the situation is similar. At this point, 2 years ago, we were starting to hear some real buzz about Reed Shepherd. And when he came to Kentucky, he was certainly viewed by almost everyone, including his own family, because I've heard Jeff say it a couple times. They thought he was a multi-year kid at Kentucky. And a lot of people thought that this is going to be one of these great college kids, a Darius Miller type that's going to be beloved and be at Kentucky for several years and that sort of thing. And then Reed just kind of blew up. And we've seen what he's done in his second year in the NBA, and he has really taken his talent to a new level. I'm not saying that, Malachi Marino is going to be the 3rd pick in the NBA draft or anything like that, but I can see a scenario where, because of his size and his athleticism and his defense, that he could end up at the next level next year. But as far as going anywhere else in college, that's not happening. He'll either be at Kentucky next year or off to the NBA.
I think Kentucky fans will like this, and you know this. There's so many great freshmen this year. I don't know what the number this year versus the last 2 years who will be lotto picks. It's an amazing year for freshmen as it goes in cycles. That might hurt him from going. How's that for a little caveat?
Yes, actually, that's an excellent point. And everybody you hear from, this is a loaded NBA draft. And as we know, not all NBA drafts are created equal. In fact, the one 2 years ago that Reed was selected third in was one of the weaker ones we've seen in a long time. And a lot of role players kind of came out of that draft. This one this year with AJ DeBonsa and the Boozer kid at Duke and I mean, there are Darius Acuff at Arkansas. There are a lot of really talented players in this draft. So this may be a reason for a guy like Malachi to go, hey, I'm going to go back to college for one more year and then try again the next year.
And plus, he might make more money in a one-year deal here than he would be if he was drafted low. Plus, he loves it here and stuff like that. By the way, kudos to you. That's a great point. Let's amplify Lee K. Howard's point. Because if Reed Shepherd was coming out this year and as good as he's playing now, there is no way on this earth that he's picked number 3. He's not picked in the top 5. And I'd have to look, but I would bet that he wouldn't be picked in the top 10. And that's not a slight against Reed. It's who happens to be in your year. And I'm not saying yes, but it's possible Reed would have played another year had he slipped down a lot more. By being, then they didn't know he'd be picked number 3, but they kind of had an idea they'd be in the top 7. It was too much money to walk away from. But if you're 18th, 19th, or 20th with the amount of money you can get for 1 year, and if you can prove your draft status, Reed might have been here.
Yeah, no, and you have to consider all those things when you're looking at your decision at the end of the year as a player. I'm saying to go or to stay, and I think Reed is probably in this year's draft. He's probably somewhere between 15 to 30 first round pick. I think he's outside of the lottery, and kudos to him. He went when he needed to, and he might be the 6th man of the NBA this year because he is contributing to that Houston Rockets team. So a lot of times in all professional sports, it's about fit, it's about timing, it's about your coaches around you, it's about the players that are around you. There's so many factors that go into success at the pro level, and those are all things you have to consider when you decide whether or not to come back to college or go to the NBA.
I'm going to flip on you one more time. Not Kentucky. Can we talk something not Kentucky? Is it possible on my show? Of course it is. So when the trade happened, which got their general manager fired in Dallas, and they were drafting Cooper Flagg. And Davis, who's, I'm sorry to say this, but he's brittle. He's just brittle. I mean, I don't mean to say it, but look at the history. I know you're not supposed to say it about Kentucky. It just is what it is. It's no filter. Mm-hmm. And if he's healthy, he might not make the Hall of Fame because he's been so brittle. Well, no, I don't want to get into that now. But I came on the air and said this might be as good, if not a better trade for Dallas. And it got the general manager fired because I love Cooper Flagg. He's even better than I thought. You got Cooper younger. Doncic was heavy and really injury prone. He lost a ton of weight, but he's put some back. But he's playing great ball. But Cooper is so young. By the time he's 25, let's see what Doncic is able to do, and I hope he's doing well. Here's my point. I don't know anybody else outside the Dallas general manager who said this, but think what Cooper did last night. 25 in the first half. After 3 quarters, he had 40. After 3 quarters, he was the first rookie to get 40-point games back to back. He's younger, cheaper, plays much better defense. He had 49 points in 38 minutes last night, 20 of 29. He had 10 rebounds. He's a superstar. And I'm telling you, if I'm Dallas, it's not popular. Plus, what do you have to pay Doncic down the road? And what you have to pay him? I'm saying Dallas might have done better if Davis was healthy. Now, here's the other caveat, and then I want you to comment before we say goodbye. If they can trade Davis and get a lot for him, which I don't see how you can do that, by the way, because he's got like 4 or 5 years left on his contract for a ton of money. I think they'd be lucky to dump him, and I hate to say this, but if he was healthy, you can get a ton for him because Anthony Davis is a great player. I'm telling you, if you go, it's kind of like, you're probably too young, but I bet you know this. There was talk about Joe DiMaggio for Ted Williams when Ted Williams was young. And the Yankees should have done the deal. It was a dumbass move by the Yankees, neither here nor there. This is kind of like that. It's kind of like that. I love Cooper Flagg. I'm sorry, you're saying Duke. He was 20 of 29. Have you watched? Unbelievable. He don't care who you are. He gets space off anybody. Who do you think got the better of that deal?
So here's a couple things. So Nico, that their general manager, and I have a bunch of friends back in Dallas because I grew up going to Mavericks games when they were bad, when their best player was like Jeff Davis and uh, Mark Guire. I mean, like it was bad, right? I went to many games in Reunion Arena in Dallas, and so the thing about it is Dallas got lucky because when they made that trade, they hadn't acquired that pick. They didn't know they were going to be the number one pick in the draft. In fact, if you think back to that lottery, Dallas was a little bit of a long shot to get the number one overall pick. So in a way, they got lucky. They first of all made the trade which was basically Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, which a lot of people in Dallas were upset about because of what you mentioned. Anthony Davis has such a career history of injuries, and it's unfortunately played out in Dallas as well, that they thought they were trading away their franchise future for a guy who was brittle. And in some ways they did. Now, Dallas also got lucky because they had a bad team and they got the first pick, and it's all going to work out for that franchise because I do agree with your points that Cooper Flagg is a young, up and coming star. In many ways, you can build your franchise around now for a longer time than you could Luka. And then Kyrie's probably close to the end of his career too. But I think their best bet at this point, I do think Anthony Davis will get moved at this trade deadline that's coming up. And I think the best you can get for him at this point is some draft picks. So you find a team that's close to having maybe one or two pieces away from making a run that doesn't need to rely on Anthony Davis to be the guy. He can be a nice complementary piece. And that's the kind of team that's like, that has this window of like 2 to 3 years of, okay, we need an Anthony Davis. We'll take our chances. We'll give you our draft picks for the next 3 years and let's roll. So I think that's what's the best case scenario for Dallas. And I think that's the best case scenario for Anthony, because I just love to see Anthony have some success at the waning years of his career. I'd like to see him end up on a team where he can make another playoff run and potentially win another championship.
Yeah, if he's healthy, he can still play. That's great analysis, by the way, because I can see a team that's close saying, we'll eat the money because they can eat money quicker than I think a lot of people realize. And that's how you trade him. And maybe you get 2 or 3 number ones. I don't know, or something like that, depending upon what somebody wants to win. Last one. I'm late, but last one.
Okay.
Is this team going to crumble? Is this team going to meddle through? Is this team going to be good? And I will tell you out my show saying they might be good tomorrow. This might be a crumbling process. I'm going to tell you, I'm not smart enough to know. To me, it's the whole spectrum out there.
So I don't believe that Kentucky is going to go to Arkansas tomorrow and come away with a win. So there's a loss there, and they've got some losses ahead. The one thing I will say about this group, I don't think, while they have some talent deficiencies and some real glaring, obvious things that they don't do well, including starting games. The one thing I will say about this team is they don't seem to give up. They seem to try. And so I think that's going to be good for another couple wins. I think they probably lose more than they win down the stretch. I think they make it into the NCAA tournament as, maybe an 11 seed, something like that. And who knows from there. It's the one good thing I will say, I have not seen this team quit or give up. Outside of maybe that Gonzaga game where it looked like they weren't trying, I even think they were trying the other night against Vandy, just nothing was going their way. So will that be good for another couple wins, enough to get in the tournament? I think so, but it's not going to be pretty as we finish out the SEC schedule.
Yeah, it's a big time opinions today, dude. I'm proud of you. So tell the world how we can watch you and follow you and stuff like that. In TV, you can't give your opinions much. Do it anyway. It's really news director that you heard it from Cutler. No, don't do that. They'll say, get out of my office.
Yeah. So Howard WKYT on Twitter is a good place to follow. I also, because of my mom, she's not on Twitter. She said, why don't you put stuff on Facebook? So I've started putting stuff on Facebook as well. So you can look me up on Facebook, and I've put a lot of content there also.
Okay, good for you. Hey, dude, I appreciate your time. Maybe next month, if you can squeeze me in around babysitting your kids, because I can in your schedule and it's nutty as heck. And thank you for carving out a bunch of time. And I really appreciate your opinion. It's really good stuff, dude.
Well, thanks. I hope the kids are back in school by next month, and let's do it again.
If you also on my side that they're back in school. Thanks, Lee K.
Yes.
Have a great
See you.
See ya. Jimmy, he's really good. That was really good opinions, the way he laid everything out.
Very good.
Interesting.
I do like his background too.
Yeah, it was really cool. Interesting how I think the more people look at this, the more people can see where Pope might have to do a lot of recruiting for next year. But like a lot of teams, by the way, like a lot of teams might have a lot of recruiting. Okay, I'm late for Jonathan Davis. Hang on, Jonathan. Blue Lotus Health. 859-533-0914. It's a almost never happened. I saw both Terry Page, I'll talk about her later, and Ramon yesterday, and I feel like a different person today. I'm dealing with some issues, and they have helped tremendously, and hope I don't have a fallback, but acupuncture. He's wonderful. Please use my name, Ramon Carriego, Blue Lotus Health, now also providing a licensed massage therapist, acupuncture. Check him out. On Versailles Road, 859-533-0914. Jonathan Davis coming up next. Thank you, Lee K. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
My name is Terry Schultz, CEO for the Rutherford County Area Habitat for Humanity. Republic Bank has really been a game changer. They have invested not only financially, but time to really listen so that we can move our mission forward. What I like about Republic Bank is they've come in asking, what are your needs? And I don't know that you get that any other place.
That's Terry's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler for my friends at Quantrell Cadillac. There's something unmistakable the moment you step into a Cadillac. The soft glow of the dashboard, the quiet power waiting beneath your foot. Every detail is designed to move you before you ever move. On the road, it's smooth, responsive, effortless. Advanced technology surrounds you. Performance responds instantly, and the world outside fades away. This isn't just driving, it's arrival. At Quantrell Cadillac, that experience is closer than you think, with exceptional offers including 2.9 APR for 60 months on select models. Luxury has never felt more attainable. Visit QuantrellCadillac.com. See dealer for complete terms.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Uncle Rick, warm yourself up with a hot coffee or cappuccino at Clark's Pup and Shop.
Kappa what?
Cappuccino. And while you're there, be sure to pick up some of our in-store specials. We have assorted Hershey, Reese, Kit Kat, and Payday king-size candy bars. Buy one, get one for $1.
I feel warmer already. Clark's Pup and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties.
Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
W223CV Lexington.
ESPN Sports Radio 1392.5. WLXG Lexington, an LM Communications broadcasting station. The only no-filter sports show in Kentucky. It's the Alan Cutler Show with award-winning TV sportscaster Alan Cutler.
We thought we'd just be physical with them. That was our main goal. On the rebounding, on the ball. So, yeah, coaches told us that that was one of their weaknesses, and we could exploit that, and that's what we did.
That was Devin McLaughlin, and we played that soundbite yesterday. I thought it was appropriate to say it today because you can't get it out of your cranium. You just can't. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, a man who only through the show has been able to get over his shyness. Boy, that's a bunch of garbage. A man who's really no filter, combination of really smart and really powerful with his thought. You said it. Former bench player for Patino. Am I supposed to say that now?
That's correct. That's my tagline now. Yes, thank you.
Your tagline. Former bench player for Patino, ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Davis, who has an amazingly successful financial company. If you need any help, give him a call. What's the number to give you a call?
JT Davis Asset Management, 859-608-6594.
And you got a client the other day without us even plugging it, just so
I
somebody.
did. Somebody listened to the show and they stopped me at the grocery store and says, "Hey, I've been listening to you and we need to talk." So thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the check's in the mail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Thing, John, I'm going to tell you, I have no idea. It's interesting how my lack of figuring this team out is hit its, hopefully not any worse than this, but its peak. Would it surprise me if the other day was an aberration and you still lose to Arkansas? No. Would it shock me? Yeah, kind of close if they go to Arkansas and win, but I do think it's possible. Mm-hmm. It's also possible that this thing could crumble. And I really think it's possible. I don't know. But the fact we're talking, it's basically February, and you're thinking, and I'm not saying I'm right, that's even my cranium that it's possible that this could crumble. It's extremely unsettling. What does Jonathan Davis say? Is Vandy an aberration? Is Vandy the start of a continuation of a previous trend? Because we played that soundbite, because their coach figured out be physical with Kentucky and it worked, and now every team is going to do it. If you're a coach, Arkansas is not a very physical team, but they're going to be physical tomorrow, and the crowd will be crazy. And you know what? That's part of winning the SEC. You're going to have to go down there, be wild and crazy. Is the physicality going to ruin them, or will this be like last year's team, got their butt beats against Ohio State, who kicked the crap out of them, and they got better from that, but that was the game plan that Western Kentucky used against Kentucky last year, even though Kentucky won, and the other coaches were copying. All these scenarios are live. I don't know what the hell which one it'll be. Jonathan Davis, what say you?
Man, I tell you, Adam, I'm with you, to the respect of, I don't know either what this team is. And I think the most disconcerting part to me is that when I'm watching them, I'm looking at body language, I'm looking at, the way that they interact with each other. I don't think they even know. I mean, from the coaching staff all the way down, there seems to be a general level of confusion about what are we doing? What's our strategy? Who are we when we step on the floor, as opposed to being so reactionary? Even with the big wins we had, where we, we were down double digits and we came back and we made a last-second shot. That's all good and great, and I'm all for that. I mean, you got to find a way to win ugly sometimes. But even with those, we dug these big holes for ourselves that were totally unnecessary. I mean, there were all the games that we came back and won in. Why were we down double digits to any of those teams? None of those teams were world beaters, to the respect of they can come in and just impose their will on us. We just were so out of sync early in the game. 5 points becomes 10 points, 10 points becomes 15 points. The next thing you know, we're down 18, 20 points. I'm going to have to fight back to get into it. That's no way to survive. That's a tough row to hoe, as they say in farming parlance. And I don't want to be. I wouldn't want to be in that position on a regular basis, because you can't always depend on that. We're not going to come back 20 points down on a regular basis.
As a guy who bled for the program, as a guy who loves this program, how unsettling is it for you, after what you just said, of not knowing what the hell is going on in February is about here?
Man, it's tough. It's tough. Like I said, I mean, obviously, when you're starting, one thing that we have to keep in mind, I catch myself with this too, is that basketball today is different than what it was in years gone by, to the respect of you don't have 3 and 4 year players in your program on a regular basis. Most of these guys have only been there for 1-2 years, tops. So they haven't really had a chance to be fully indoctrinated in, what we're about, who we are, what our ethos is, how we operate as a program, not just a team, but as a program from the top down. So every year you're starting over again. And, with that in mind, you got to have mercenaries. You got to have guys that are just killers and just figure it out. And we're not there yet. We're not. We haven't figured out the formula to win in today's modern basketball.
Play a little game with me?
Sure.
Okay. So I did it with Jimmy. Then I did it with Lee K. Howard. You go first. I'll mention a player's name. Give me yes or no. And if there's a little caveat, because a lot of it's not black and white, depends upon circumstances. But if you think the player will be back. Ready?
Okay.
I'm just going down numerically. There's no rhyme or reason.
Okay.
Obviously, Aberdeen's not back. A senior always not back. Jasper, back, yes or no?
That's a tough one. I know too much. Pass.
Oh, no. Give me
I have to answer the question. I mean, well, let me ask you this. Let me. Oh, you know what? Let me give a caveat. Okay. I'll answer. Let me give a caveat. The caveat would be: do I think, based upon where we are, right? If the decision was made today, what would happen, as opposed to cooler heads prevailing, sit down at the end of the season, evaluating, the total body of where we are versus where it could be in the future. Those are two different conversations. Because right now, he would leave tomorrow, I think, if he could. I think he's very frustrated right now.
I have never heard you so wishy-washy.
Well, I qualified it.
You did. I'm busting your chops. Okay.
And again, like I said, I'm too much of an insider to be objective on some of this stuff. We've talked to their family. I mean, we've had conversations, and I don't want to betray their trust because again, people talk to me because they know that I'm not going to be telling them their private business.
Let me apologize.
Okay.
You know me privately.
I'm an insider.
You know me privately. I shouldn't have busted your chops like that because there are certain things you just don't say.
Yeah.
You just don't say. I will say this: unless something changes, he's absolutely gone. I've said it twice on the show. Absolutely. Sure. Because I tell you where I derived it. It really hit me. I think it was 2 games ago. I should look it up, whatever. But there was a soundbite where he did, and the kid's always smiling. The kid's got a great smile.
Yeah.
And is always positive. And his love of Kentucky, I don't question that for a second. That wasn't BS. It was all the truth. Because if he ends up believing, say, well, you lied about loving Kentucky. No, that's not true. But he talked about how a lot of kids are frustrated. You were frustrated. A lot of kids are frustrated when you don't get playing time. Sometimes you deserve more playing time. Sometimes you don't. But whatever in your cranium, and I respect it. I've never seen his face like that at all about how frustrated he was with playing time. Plus the fact you score 8 points in a row and you basically don't play in the second half. And this is that multiple times.
Yeah.
So if it were today, I think he's absolutely gone. Absolutely gone. Yeah. Now, could it change? Sure. Here's how it could. If all of a sudden he's playing 25 minutes a game, and look, not 32, 33 minutes a game, but he's playing about 25 minutes a game and feels like he's really a part of it and stuff like that, and not sitting the last 7 minutes of the game. Chandler's going to have to play the last 7 minutes of the game because he's proven to be so clutch. He has now earned that right, whether he starts.
Yeah.
He's earned that right. And I don't know if he's going to get a chance. The other thing he said that to me was powerful, that in that few sound bites, he said, they're starting to allow me to play through some of my mistakes. Look, everybody knows this. OA is not going to get yanked. Jasper is going to get yanked. And when coaches say it's all the same, that's a bunch.
It's not.
Bunch of BS in the world. So it's interesting. Let's get off Jasper because you know some stuff, and I should have known, but I didn't know. And I will apologize for.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed busting your chops, and now
come on, man, you put me on the spot here. These are my friends.
I understand.
I went to school with his dad.
I know.
We're in this. I mean, what are you doing, Alan? What are you doing?
Will you accept my? You know what? You have the upper hand now, and you're really enjoying it.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Seriously, I apologize. Let's get off that. Cam Williams.
Oh my God. Again, I'm an insider, man. I can't. I'm not. This is the thing, Alan. When you ask me these questions, I'm not speculating.
Okay.
When you ask Joe Blow, whoever on your show about these kids, they're speculating. When you ask me, I talked to his dad 20 minutes ago. We just got off the phone, Alan. They called me.
Pass
on all of it. On all of it. It's not fair to me or them. It's not fair.
Okay, I'm sorry. How about we stop this game?
Yes.
Okay. I really feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. You didn't know. I mean, like I said, I don't share everything on radio every time, but I'm telling you that I'm too much of an insider on this stuff. It's not speculation when I say something. They call me and tell me.
Well, you have talked on the air about how
some stuff, but I can't tell everything I know.
No, I understand. But you've talked about your relationship with the Williams family.
Yes.
You have not talked about the Johnson family.
I have not talked about it before. Yeah.
I want to tell you, I feel as bad right now as I have doing any show I've ever done for LM. So I hope you forgive me.
No. Again, it's not. You and I, we can raise our voice at each other. We can go back and forth. There's nothing personal at all. Nothing personal. Don't feel bad. You didn't know. And now you know. I can't tell everything that I know on radio.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't take the yelling the wrong way. That
Yeah.
like if you and I were having a cup of coffee and we'd be
People probably say these guys hate each other because they're yelling all the time. You just don't let them communicate, you know?
the last time we had coffee, didn't we have to go on the side? We were afraid other people hear our voices.
Yes.
And the next time we same thing. Okay, let's totally get off that.
Yeah. Different subjects.
Let's talk about Calipari.
Okay.
Literally, I know I'm wearing a sweatshirt and a long shirt underneath, and I'm sweating. I don't sweat when I do this show. Also, the turmeric I put in this. By the way, this is day 2. I'm trying to do a 3-day fast.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a bite of food.
Oh wow.
Water, some tea.
How do you feel?
Actually, I'll explain that in a second. It's some tea. I'm having broth. Now, there are some people that say the only way to do a fast is just do a water fast. And I'd like to do that someday. I'm not ready for that. But I've talked to enough people who do it that broth is okay. And you can put some spices in there because you kind of need that.
Sure.
This is the 4th time I've tried it. I once got to 64 hours.
Wow.
I once swimped out the next morning. And I once swimped out at the end of the first day going, I'm not going to be able to do this. I feel like I have to. I actually believe that a 3-day fast is one of the best things in the world for you. A lot of reading on this kind of thing. And I think I have to because of some things going on. I think that's the extra motivation. I can tell you this. I was told this, and people I talked to and done both reading and audio, that the toughest day is the first day. The second day, you almost get a euphoric feeling. It's really weird. And the third day is not as bad, but getting through the first day, I feel great today. I feel great, but I didn't feel bad yesterday. So I think I'm going to do it this time. And if I don't, I'll say on Monday that I, wimped out. But the last thing I had was, I've gone. Tonight will be 2 full days. Tonight, a little before 8 o'clock, will be.
The fact that you tried it, that's admirable, man. I mean, just turning your body off and avoiding food for an extended period of time, that can't do anything but good things for your cell health,
Yes.
Cellular regeneration.
I got some things that, of course, there's some people who can take that on. Need there.
Yeah.
Okay, how about, can you talk about John Calipari? You got some inside information. You can't talk to me.
No, we talk about him. It's speculation. Yeah.
Well, YouTube, because we're friends, I can do this. I'm making a fist. First of all, it never happened. Jonathan could pick me up with one hand and then go toss me. No, might get a hernia. I'm still too heavy, but you're in great shape. Okay. Point is this: the thing with Cal to me has totally changed, as I said it would. When this first happened, the first year will be intense, and then he's always going to be the Kentucky coach, but it's just not the same. This is what I've noticed, and Wally Hall's coming on in about 8 minutes. He's the top columnist ever in Arkansas, ever. From knowing the Clintons to covering sports, and he's dead. Blah, blah, blah. Really no filter. I think he might be passing you and me on no filter. Neither here, seriously. And so Cal seems to have his swag back. I don't look at all his press conferences, but I've seen a lot of clips throughout the season. He looks more relaxed. He's calm. It's like he's on element. We had Roger Clinton, Bill's brother, on yesterday, and people love Cal. Now, you lose 8 games in a row. It's going to change. That's just the way the world is and that kind of stuff. But they love him. They're supporting him. He said he can't believe that they're putting more money into basketball than football, and it's a football state. And he's got 2 great freshmen that are playing together, and Cal has switched. After he left her, he talked about, maybe I need more guys from the NIL, and transfers and do a mixture. He's now saying, I'm a freshman coach. The great freshman. He's saying that now, so he switched back. It's like he almost gave in to something he didn't want to begrudgingly. And I think the guy's back. I really do. Now, we'll see what happens. Do you have any hope that Kentucky can win tomorrow?
Yes, there is hope. I think right now, because we're in such disarray, I'm going to do something that I really do, and that is going to move the goalpost a little bit. And right now, our main thing is just not to go out there and get blown out. That's not Kentucky talk at all. That's not Jonathan Davis talking. That's just reality talking. And we're in a precarious position right now to where we can lose by 30, or we could win by 10. Either one of those, both those scenarios I think are possible. But I think what's most likely possible is that we just go down there and just kind of hold serve and just don't get blown out. That's what I'm looking at right now. I mean, we are not who I thought we'd be at this point in the season. Obviously, we've lost 3 starters, but again, at this point, it's next man up. We can't worry about that. We have enough talent to go down there and go head to head and be competitive and come out with the victory. But that is not. I'm not saying that with any measure of confidence right now, and I'm disappointed in that. I'm not confident we're going to win tomorrow. It was possible, sure. Am I confident? No, because they're not confident.
So you think let me interpret.
It's a long shot. It's a long shot to win.
You thought it was a long shot. You know, if they lose like 86-78 and play hard and play well.
I can live with that. Because we're not gonna run the table. I thought before the Williams kid got hurt, I thought we had a chance to maybe run the table the rest of the season, or at least the rest of the regular season, that we were going to be, if not the favorite, we're going to be in 2 or 3 points of everybody that we played. Without him, now we're down 3 players instead of being 2 starters. Having to try to integrate some guys into the system that haven't played much. Jasper Johnson and Trent Noah, those guys hadn't played much in the SEC season, but now we have to depend on them for 10, 15 minutes at a stretch. It's like starting over again. You can't be starting over again in the middle of the conference season in a good conference like this. We don't have the talent level that we can roll guys out there en masse and expect to win. We don't have that kind of talent.
If this crumbles, are you going to call for Pope's job, or is that not?
Oh, God, no. Because perspective, historical perspective. We look at great coaches, historically great coaches. For example, Krzyzewski. I mean, what did it take him like 5 years to win a Duke? I mean, he didn't do anything in the beginning. You look at another great coach. You look at Dean Smith at Carolina. What did he win? 2, 3 championships in 40 years. 40 years with the talent he had. He had Michael Jordan, among others. I mean, boatload, a plethora of talent. A lot of Sweet 16s, but not many championships. So from a historical perspective, give him time. 2 years not nearly enough. Even if we lost every game the rest of the season, he still deserves time to put in his system and figure out if he's the right guy for us or not. That takes years, not a few quarters here and there.
I think he deserves another year.
Absolutely.
Which is not going to happen.
Sure.
And talk about that some other time but I'm curious to your opinion. We agree, and I know we're becoming in the minority when it comes to that. Last one. If you had any quick advice for Mark Pope in 30 seconds, what would you give him?
Oh my gosh. That's a tough one. There's so much I want to say. I mean, I guess for one, defensive philosophy. I'm not sure what his is yet. I'm not sure he's even sure what it is yet, but pick one and stick to it. Be that guy. When you walk on the court, just people need to know, okay, this is what they're going to do defensively. You got to find a way to stop that. Because defense wins championships. You got to play defense. We're not defending well at all. I'd start there. Because we don't have a bunch of great 3-point shooters. We got to stop people.
Bottom line is this, without giving it this a general thing, not betraying a trust. What I've been saying is, however this shakes out with the team, and Kentucky's not going to be the only one, there are going to probably be more players who will leave than perhaps a lot of people thought in August or September or October, and he's going to have a ton of recruiting to do. I think you agree with that.
I think whether we win or lose, there's going to be turnover because we haven't talked about a subject that is near and dear to all these players' hearts, and that is money. Even if you had a guy that had a great year and wants to come back, and UK has I'm making up a number. UK had $800,000 for this guy. But school XYZ has, you know what, we got 1.5 for you. I don't care who you are. That kid's leaving. You know what I'm saying? So leaving, not leaving, winning and losing, and whether a kid stays or goes are not, they're mutually exclusive. It's going to come down to money a lot of time. Not $1 more, but if somebody doubles your salary to just go across the road, yeah, they're going to leave. They're going to leave for that.
Last one real quick, because Wally's not in yet, and we're getting away from your trust here. And if I'm in your trust, just do me a favor.
I will.
I will ask.
I'm no filter, Alan. I'll tell you, brother. I'll tell you.
People would like to tell me to shut up, okay? It's on purpose. Not the shut up part. In August, it wasn't in my head that Noah might leave. I have no inside information. I'm going to tell you that. He's got 2 choices.
I don't either on him. I had nothing on him. Nothing.
Okay, that's good. I didn't think you did.
Yeah.
So one, if you like wearing Kentucky across your chest and you're going to be a bench guy for the next 2 years, because I don't see him ever starting here, Okay. And well, gosh, there's nothing wrong with that. And you're going to make more money here than you can someplace else. And you could set yourself up. He could come to you and you could set him up maybe for the rest of his life by putting that way and getting a job. God bless, more power to him. But the kid wants to play. And I keep on saying EKU, and I'm not getting paid for that, but their style is perfect for him.
Yes.
Go there, become a captain, play 30 minutes a game, get some NIL money, maybe a tenth of what he's getting here, that kind of thing. But you don't want to be 40 years old and wish you played. You understand most people. And I don't know if he's coming back. If the kid wants to sit on the bench, God bless. They will always recruit over him. He is not end up starting here. Give me about 25 seconds, and then we'll go.
Well, as far as this weekend, again, I think I touched on this already. I'm not confident that we're going to win this ball game. I'm not confident in that at all.
No,
but
Noah.
On Noah, I'm sorry. I have no inside information on Noah. I think he's got a tough decision to make. To the respect of, if he plans on having a life here in Kentucky, he needs to be a UK grad. If he thinks that he's got a chance of playing overseas or playing at a different level, he has to go someplace else and get the reps. He won't get the reps here on the court, I don't think. Like you said, they're going to recruit over him, so he's got to figure out what he wants to do. I mean, look at me. I didn't play at all, but because I did stay on the team, I did do all the things right, other than getting my opportunity to play on the court. I was able to leverage that into a nice career here for myself in Kentucky. Had I gone to Western, had I gone to EKU, the opportunities would not have been the same. I know this looking back in retrospect. It worked out for me fine. I didn't plan it this way, but I know if you're going to be in Kentucky, you need to be at Kentucky.
Bless you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You too, brother. Yeah, take it easy.
Have a good weekend. Stay warm.
All right, man. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Jonathan Davis. Have you ever heard me say I've sweated doing the show?
Not that much. There's a couple times in studio when you would be in studio. Like when Sean Woods was in here, you'd always say he'd make you start.
You're right. You are right, but that was different.
Yeah.
No, you are absolutely right. I'm talking about this. I actually really felt bad. Just thought it was a game. Look, and I do the same thing, and I'm really hard about this. And I've had some people who I've dealt with that not really happy with me when they would ask me a question privately, and I said I can't answer it. Why? Because I know something. Well, can't you just tell me? Nope. There's certain things I'm really old school when it comes to that. Wally Hall, we hope coming up next. He's not in the hopper, is he?
Not yet.
Okay. I will send you his number. I wonder if he's having problems with getting on Zoom. He's texting me right now, and I'll tell you about my dear friend. She helped me yesterday. Terry Page. It's the first decent night of sleep I've had, thanks to Terry and Ramon in 4 days. I haven't been sleeping at all. What they did for me was absolutely spectacular. She's a great licensed massage therapist. She's unbelievable. 859-373-0578. 859-373-0578. Call her. Go see her. Please use my name. She's in Lexington Thursday and Friday, in Butler Monday and Tuesday. She's a very special person who's really, really, really smart. Check her out. Terry Page, 859-373-0578. Alan Cutler, 1300 AM, 92.5 FM.
No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler, brought to you by Quantrell Auto Group. QuantrellForLife.com.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler. Have a no-filter comment? Hit the text line, 859-381-1313. 859-381-1313.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties.
Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Hey, I'm Dale Wise. I've just recently retired. I know that the electronics, if you don't keep up with it, it can get away from you and get real confusing. Republic Bank's app, I use their app, and it is so easy to use. I log in with my fingerprint. so it's super easy. I don't have to remember 50 million different passwords and all that stuff. And it lays it out just real nice.
That's Dale's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank. Time to thrive. Member FDIC. Data rates may apply.
Hi, this is Alan Cutler from the depths of Mammoth Cave to the rugged cliffs of Red River Gorge to the muddy boots and long days in Daniel Boone National Forest and every back road that gets you there. Your adventures are built for Subaru with legendary, symmetrical, all-wheel drive, proven safety, and the durability Quantrell Subaru is known for. You can push farther, stay longer, and explore without hesitation. Right now, 0% APR financing on new 2025 Subaru Outback models through February 2nd, 2026. Built for Kentucky, ready for anywhere. Quantrell Subaru. Visit QuantrellSubaru.com. See dealer for details.
Ooh, baby, it's cold outside.
Uncle Rick, warm yourself up with a hot coffee or cappuccino at Clark's Pup and Shop.
What?
Cappuccino. And while you're there, be sure to pick up some of our in-store specials. We have assorted Hershey, Reese, Kit Kat, and Payday king-size candy bars. Buy one, get one for $1.
I feel warmer already. Clark's Pup and Shop. Return, refresh, refill.
You've been snowed in. So come on out to the Embassy Suites by Hilton this Saturday from 5 to 6:30 and get ready to cheer on the Cats. Register to win Journey tickets or an overnight stay at the Embassy Suites. Plus Wildcat versus Razorback drink and food specials like beef sliders or beef ribs with smoked Gouda mac and cheese. Swing by Saturday, 5 until 6:30.
Kind and helpful, and it just made me feel like, wow, I'm not dealing with just a machine. I'm dealing with somebody that's actually paying attention to what I'm doing, and it made me feel really good.
And that's how Republic Bank helps their customers go from living to thriving. Learn more at republicbank.com. Member FDIC.
Back to No Filter Radio with Alan Cutler. Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and Google, Monday through Friday.
Now, I was just looking at a list of Wally Hall's recognition. Football Writers Association of America's the Burt McGreen Award. Very prestigious. Arkansas Sports Writer of the Year many, many, many times. Arkansas Sports Writers and Sportscasters Hall of Fame. I can go on and on and on and on. A very powerful voice, and I bet Wally will smile at this. This is what Chat GPT says. What he's known for, strong opinions and blunt writing style. Polarized, but influential. I'll put it this way. The most powerful columnist ever in the state of Arkansas. So I'm going with that because I know you. Wally, thank you so much for joining me. How the heck are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You know, for an old geezer, I'm okay. I'm okay. Counting my, let's put it that way. It seems to me as an outsider, but I know Calipari a little bit, from looking at tape, and I don't look at all his press conferences, Wally, but I've looked at a number of clips through the course of the year. He seems more relaxed. He seems to have his swagger back. He seems to have made a switch. He was really bucking the trend, saying, you know, I don't want transfers. I just want, you know, freshmen, the great freshman. And then he sort of was easing up. And now I heard him say about a week or so ago, I'm the one that takes the great freshman. It looks like he's having fun. His body language looks better. You're inside. I'm a long way away. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely 100% correct. He is having fun. He's got back into his stride. He's the whole state's enamored with him. He could be the master of ceremonies at every banquet if he wanted to be. He's being himself. He's a great charmer and salesman, and he's having fun. There's zero pressure on him right now.
You know, the first year, and it made sense. And when this happened, I said, give it a year, it'll totally change. He's always going to be the Kentucky coach. There's always going to be a comparison, stuff like that. But the pressure of all this, you know, leaving here, going somewhere else, it seems to have just dissipated. As good with time. And it's not the pressure of last year, I think. But what do you think?
I tell you, Alan, I think that Kentucky's it's just a different culture than most places. You don't hope to win. The fans expect to win, and they expect to win every game. Arkansas, they appreciate every win. Every win's like a national championship to them, especially coming off a 2-10 football season. So I think he's embraced everything, and here, and you know, he seems to be enjoying the game. He's a little critical of his players from time to time, and I didn't cover him enough when he was at Kentucky to know if he did that there. But he's constructive, and he's teaching, and he's having fun, and you know, they're winning. They're pretty good.
I love his guards. And Akoff's going to make a lot of money in the NBA. And the fact that he had 21 points, 10 assists is great, but no turnovers the other night in that comeback for Oklahoma. I'd like to be his agent. I could retire for what he's going to get out of his first contract, Wally.
Yeah, I think he's a lottery pick next year or this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's apparently a really nice kid. People like him. He goes out of his way to make people feel welcome. And, you know, we don't get access to players, you know, one-on-one. Nobody does anymore. So I don't know him. I just know what I read on social media. But apparently the people he plays against, they respect him. He doesn't talk trash. He's a clean player. You know, he's just showing a lot of class for somebody 18 years old. But, you know, he's been on the national stage probably since he was 12 or 13 in the summers.
So he's handled this going way back when people were sticking microphones in his face or pads in their face or their phones in their face to do an article. And I think a lot of these guys, and I know you believe the same thing, are mature at an earlier age because of social media and everything that surrounds them if you're a special player. Right. And you can handle it one way. You can run away from it, or you can embrace it. And Acuff just seems to embrace it. Think it's what it is, you know. We had Roger Clinton on yesterday, and one of the things that Roger said, and he said to say hi to you, was the fact he never thought he would see the day where the state of Arkansas supports basketball more than football. He said, because this is a football state. He said, it's unbelievable.
Well, there's a little concern about that because the Board of Trustees at Arkansas passed a resolution this week that the school has to start giving the athletic program money. That's never happened before. And basketball's become very expensive. And I think that's eaten up some of the money that's supposed to go to football. But the athletic director is a former college basketball player. You can just see he embellishes the games, and he sits on the millionaire row, and you know I think he would like for it to be a basketball school, but you can't. There are very few schools that can maintain their finances just through basketball. I think Kentucky probably could, but Arkansas can't. They've got to have football.
Well, football, even at Kentucky, pays the bills a lot more than basketball. That's, you know, a misnomer, but your point's very well taken. I think basketball here ends up getting more money because there's a pride factor. We can't let it slip. It's Kentucky. But I got to tell you, throwing this out there, look, I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. I expect Arkansas to win. But to me, hang with me a second, Wally. It's one thing if, like, Arkansas wins 86-78 and Kentucky plays hard and plays well, but they're just not good enough. I mean, that's one thing. But if they end up crashing like they have in other games and crashing like they did against Vandy, which I don't think they will, but I don't know. I can't figure these kids out, and it's in like an 80-55. This thing could crumble. I want to go history with you. You know, and I've used this example a number of times in the past couple of months. You know, people used to say, you're old enough to remember this, me too, Wally, that the sun doesn't set on the British Empire. Well, that's not true anymore. The Roman Empire didn't last. And if this continues with Kentucky based upon the last 6 years, granted, they got to the Sweet 16 for the first time in a long time, which got Pope a contract extension. But if this continues of bad seasons, it's in the back of my head. I wonder if Kentucky's going to be a blue blood if they have 5 more years like the last 6.
Well, let me ask you a question. You just kind of struck a nerve with me. Why would he get a new contract after 1 year?
Well, it's in his contract that if you make the Sweet 16, you get an automatic. That's the original contract. Get a new contract, but and maybe it's semantics. Well, I still think it's a new contract because there's an addition to the contract, but it is part of the original contract. I apologize if I didn't say that properly.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like contracts mean anything to anybody but coaches anymore. You know, you got a contract. A kid signs a contract for 2 years to play football, and then he transfers after a year. Now, Arkansas has sued one kid to get their money back. It seemed like.
Are they getting it back?
It's in litigation.
So there'll probably be some sort of compromise.
It was a kid from California, a quarterback. He came in last December and he stayed through the spring and transferred. But they pay him this NIL money up front, which makes no sense to me. Who gets? I don't get paid up front by the year. You know, I guess it saves them some bookkeeping costs.
No, I don't think it's bookkeeping. I think it's the agents who are browbeating athletics directors who are too weak and they just give in because there's he's going to go somewhere else because somebody else will pay him the money up front, so we're going to pay the money up front and that kind of thing. I just can't believe how athletics directors have just been beat up by agents and stuff like that. There's a fear factor. By the way, and I've said this a gazillion times, this is nothing new. When Cal was flirting with UCLA, which years ago, which I never thought he was going to go, because Cal is all about money, and UCLA was not going to pay him what he was making here. They don't, and they weren't going to, and that helped them get a new contract. And I would say, John, you've done a great job here, because at that point, he'd done a great job here. I mean, let's be real. It is what it is. You've done a great job here, but you know what? If you want to go to UCLA, we don't want you to leave, but you got a contract, and if you want to go to UCLA, go ahead. That's how he got the contract that wasn't a lifetime contract, but extended out all that time. I wouldn't have given it to him, and it's not just Cal. Sometimes ADs have to be able to learn how to say 2 letters. No. Am I nuts?
No, I totally agree. Arkansas is paying a Sam Pittman $8 million over the next 6 years, and nobody was going to hire him. He wasn't going to be offered a job by UCLA or anybody else. This was the first head coaching job he'd ever had. He was 60 years old. He wins 9 games, and 4 of them were non-conference wins. They gave him a new contract, and with a bigger buyout, and now they're paying for it.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Did I somewhere where Pittman, to coaches last year, agreed to take less of a buyout?
Yeah, so he didn't have to seek another job.
Yeah.
So he go ahead. He took like 1.7 million less. He had already built his retirement home on a lake and outside of Hot Springs, Arkansas. I mean, it's like a $2 million house, and he and his wife went there every weekend they could, and they liked it. They were ready to retire, and so it was in his contract he had to seek another job, and he didn't want to do that. He wanted to retire, so he took 1.7 million less. But I think he can live on 8, maybe.
Probably, and he'd all stake he wants. Interesting. Roger Clinton had told me the same exact story, that he ain't coaching again. He wants to retire. He's got a beautiful house on the water. It's paid for. He's in great shape, and so he actually did Arkansas a favor in an odd way, didn't he, by saving them $1.7 million?
Yeah, because they've paid Beelum off, they paid Chad Morris off, and now they're going to have to pay him off. I mean, they were beginning to sound like Auburn.
Ooh, that's nasty.
It's true.
I wonder who's number one contracts. Tennessee for a while didn't they have 3 coaches they were paying at one time a few years ago?
I don't remember.
I think so. Anyway, I'm joking, but your point's well taken. Auburn has had to dig out a whole lot of money, a whole lot of money. After I are done doing this, is college athletics still going to be salvageable? And here's my point. With all this talk about money and stuff, when it's a great game, nobody gives a rat's. But there's so much talk about the money. I wonder if two things are going to happen. One, it's going to eventually a lot of people off. And two, and I'm using Mississippi State, for example, if they don't have the money, I can see there'll be basketball programs and football programs that are going to really dip over the next few years because they don't have enough money to bring in athletes and compete on the level that they're in a conference right now. I think some of the bad teams in a lot of conferences are going to really slip.
I think everything's shifting. I think the NIL and the transfer portal started it, but there's also an underlying factor here among the colleges, and it's called greed. And, I think within 5 years there'll be two conferences, probably 48 teams, and they won't share. They may not football-wise. They probably won't be part of the NCAA. They'll save that money. They'll make all the money themselves. Of course, the NCAA is not involved with the playoffs anyway. So, but a lot of these schools, they can't afford. It's just like, Arkansas is trying to raise $15 million more. Hunter Yurchek, the athletic director, admitted at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, he said, we can't compete in football. We can't compete. And when they hired Silverfield, he said, I'm putting a package together so we can compete. And a month later, the Board of Trustees passes a resolution that the university has to give athletics $6 million. Well, in previous years, the athletic department, because it makes money, and it made money last year, would give the school $4 million. This is a $10 million swing for the academic side. And $10 million may not sound like much, but, Arkansas is a poor state. And students are getting loans, and now they're talking about charging them an athletic fee so they can pay the students will be paying what they used to call student athletes. It's never going to be the same. We don't know what the final picture looks like yet, but it ain't going to be very pretty. And it's certainly not going to be like it was.
It's sad. And the TV deal, although they're guaranteed paying money out, that could find a way to crash too. My concern is, college athletics, I love it. But I'm concerned it's going to have a 1929 crash. That's just me. And I'm not suggesting it's going to happen, but it could. Last thought on the basketball team with the Cal or anything that's in your cranium about what's going on.
I'm sorry, ask me that again.
Just some thought about Cal or Arkansas as a basketball team in about 30 seconds before we say goodbye. Is there something else about the basketball team you want to share?
No, I haven't seen this kind of enthusiasm from the fans. I mean, we had a terrible winter storm come through, and probably 12,000 people showed up for last Saturday's game. And there were travel advisories out not to get out.
Wow.
They're loving it.
Wow. Yeah. This is a personal note. It's really nice hearing your voice. We have had a few spirited conversations in press boxes. Respect to how you stay healthy. And hopefully down the road we can chat again. And I can't imagine you need me, but while you know this, if you need me, I'm a phone call away.
I appreciate it, Alan. I miss seeing you, buddy.
Back at you, brother. Back at you. Thank you, Wally. Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a great columnist. Jimmy, I'm telling you. I mean, great columnist and a really good dude. And he's not shy. He is no filter. We are out for the week. I'm looking forward to watching Kentucky hopefully play tons better against Cal and Arkansas tomorrow. Jimmy, stay warm. Everybody stay warm. Count your blessings. Matthew and Jimmy at 10. I'll be back at noon on Monday. Brad Taylor coming up next. Count your blessings. Thank you for listening. Fun show. Fun show. Wonderful guests as always. I'm so lucky with the people that decide to come on and do this show. And Jimmy, you were no filter today, dude. You were no filter.
Thank you. I try to be.